in early 1980, around August. I went to sleep this night. Just as soon as I fell into sleep, this dream began to start. I was given the ability to realize, by being in homes, that television sets not only broadcast and transmitted programming, but they now had the capacity to actually send signals about you in your living room.
It says here Channel 4 is pushing the boundaries of multi-platform digital broadcasting as part of our continued commitment to digital switchover. No, not the face! Digital switchover is coming!
You've probably heard that between now and 2012, the way you can receive TV signals will change.
Let's take a look at what the digital switchover will mean for you.
You know, you're going to be hearing a lot about the digital transition these days, but it's nothing to be afraid of.
If you can just try to imagine for a few moments a second grader seeing this, and it actually was played out to me in a vision that seems much more real than you being here tonight.
Now, the great switchover to digital television will be complete within months as the last of the analogue television signals get switched off. But have you ever wondered why it's all happening?
Digital switchover is a massive change and a headache for some consumers. So why is the government retuning masts like this?
Guess what I found out? That televisions made after 1992 can in fact watch you.
There's been a big increase in people throwing out older TV sets. But switchover advisors say it's a myth that you need a new TV to go digital.
In fact, you can convert pretty much any TV to receive a digital signal.
I was able to see that television sets were actually watching people in their homes, monitoring their movements, monitoring their conversations. I was shown in the dream that the television didn't even have to be on, it just needed to be plugged in.
Verizon has designed a DVR that will have you asking, "Can they hear me now?" Like something straight out of George Orwell's trash can. The device will use cameras and microphones that will watch you while you watch it.
So moving on to our facial recognition, which is my favorite portion. If you notice, the top center of our TVs have a camera built in. Hallelujah. Okay, we've got cameras in our television. So this particular camera is a facial recognition camera as well as a Skype application camera.
Very unusual things in the dream transpired. The changes took place almost instantly and with complete ease. Complete ease. There was peaceful martial law, as I said. Military police were everywhere, and they knew everyone's whereabouts. I found out how they began to know this.
It also incorporates a lot of our smart functionality. Smart Interaction uses our camera built into the bezel, the minimalist design. We built a camera into it that allows you to interact with the television through voice control, gesture control, and face recognition.
You log into your SmartHub account using face recognition without needing to input your account ID and password. Position yourself so your face is in the center of the red face recognition circle.
And so I saw these in homes just about everywhere.
Imagine your TV being able to do what your smartphone can do. Nifty features such as face recognition using the camera on your Google box.
Thanks to built-in HD quality cameras, 3 smart TVs, the ES8000, the ES7000 and the Plasma E8000 all offer facial recognition and gesture control, giving you more ways of interacting with friends and family.
One of the great things about facial recognition is once you've set it up with all your accounts, you can use it to log into all of them at once.
It also recognizes my face and logs me into SmartHub. Check this out. See? All my favorite movie apps right there on Samsung SmartHub.
Okay, so my absolute favorite feature on this TV is the built-in camera. It's what recognizes my face and gestures.
It also has this smart touch remote control with a built-in microphone. The other day while I was watching the game, I decided to check out some highlights. Web browser, sports highlights.
No, really, you just say hello. It recognizes your voice. Hi, TV.
Fiber optics. Do you know that one fiber optic cable can carry over 1 million messages? Why? Why do they do things like that? Think for a minute. So that more people can be kept watch after. Not so that telecommunications gets better for us. It's a game, folks. It's a big scheme. It's a big plan going on before us.
Would you watch TV if you knew someone else was watching you? Intel's reportedly planning its own television service. Insiders say it will be a chopped-down version of your standard cable service. And it will come to you through a camera-equipped set-top box that knows who's watching.
John Anderson, you could use a Guinness right about now.
But it will use proprietary Intel chip tech to determine the gender and age of its current audience.
It's clear that everyone recognizes that it's time for demographic ratings to evolve into more sophisticated advanced demographics or consumer ratings. And it's really not a question of if it's going to happen, it's really more of a question of when it's going to happen.
We want to make television work harder by emphasizing it or reinforcing it.
More and more every day, advertisers are demanding that advanced targeting and consumer information is being used in order to plan and buy media.
Verizon not only wants to provide your cable television service, but also stick around and observe everything you do while watching TV. The company filed a patent for a set-top box that uses, quote, a depth sensor, an image sensor, an audio sensor, and a thermal sensor to record what you're doing so it can target you with specific advertising. As an example, Verizon notes the DVR box would send an ad for marriage counseling to an arguing couple, or ads for a romantic getaway, or a commercial for contraceptives to a couple cuddling up.
It's taken a while to build a technology platform to leverage set-top box data and Nielsen data and other data for better targeting, growing our platform, bringing in more data, looking at other kinds of data that people want to target on. I think we're going to see a lot of the promise of the online advertising world is going to be exploited in the television advertising world. More measurability.
What is Visible World, and what do you do? Why does it matter?
Well, Leslie, we're an advanced advertising company. Targeting capabilities, data analytics, interactivity, workflow and automation. You will just get better, more relevant ads.
As the mass pandemonium and despair began to permeate society, there was a very unusual event that happened. Media devices were shut down for about a 2-week period. This shutdown alarmed all of the peoples. Can you imagine briefly tonight all of your communications, your telephone, computers, television, and radio being shut down for a 2-week period of time? Could you imagine the hysteria? After about 2 weeks of time, television and radio began to be back up and running. However, it was completely different than what was previously being broadcast. The broadcasts were being bombarded nearly everywhere, and they were depicting a soon-to-come new government and leadership. A man would be emerging to lead us. The man finally came on the scene. Almost immediately, he began to communicate through large-screen televisions that were strategically placed everywhere the general populace met. Think back for me for just a few moments. 1980, 1981. Large screens televisions? No. Few pizza parlors had those projector televisions, you know, with the 3 different colors that would project an image, but large screen televisions weren't out, folks, and neither was 24-hour news. Everywhere the populace met, big screen televisions were pumping this message. Now, what was strange about this is that this man's speeches and directions for the whole world had to do with new times upon us as human beings, new directives for global peace, and the need to give up current citizenship for world citizenship. I constantly heard the word new order, world order, and new times. When this man spoke, it began to convince me. It began to pull me in to the messages. I don't know if any of you have seen old films of Adolf Hitler speaking to the masses, but he had a demonic charisma about him that would literally pull the masses to him. That was nothing compared to what I saw. This individual was rallying the globe. The new order was said to have all the answers to problems and the leadership necessary to bring the change, causing the world to finally become the envisioned globe of peace. This is what we heard over and over. Folks, this was 1980 when I had this dream. It sounds like right now, doesn't it? At staggering rates, people were buying right into this plan that this man was releasing through the airwaves. At staggering rates. No resistance. No one was fighting it. No one was saying anything publicly. I can't tell you if the airwaves were controlled to the point where you couldn't come on and say certain things.